Can ETERNABOND tape be used as flashing around vent openings on a sloped metal roof? I hope so, because we have a problem. Buckle up for safety as I give you a day in the life of facilities maintenance.
Hi there. So today I'm coming to you from the roof of the shop. And this is a roof that unfortunately, the portion that I'm sitting on, not that portion over there, which is over the auto shop, but where I'm sitting here, this is the portion over the metalwork fabrication shop that you see me use quite frequently, and the wood shop. It's all wrong. This metal roof was done incorrectly. I'm not sure why it was done the way it was done, but it doesn't work. In short, what they did when they built this roof was you have your trusses, your engineered trusses, and then they put down plywood decking. It's not very thick, and it would have been okay if they would have put down some type of membrane and then put shingles down over top of it. I don't know if they had a line on metal, and so that's why they went with a metal roof. But when you screw down a metal roof like this, first of all, at least now anyway, I don't know what code was back then, but at least now, exposed screws like this on the surface, on a metal surface like this, are fine for vertical surfaces, for walls. You can get away with it if it's done correctly, but not a roof surface like this. Nowadays, when you see a metal roof, you generally don't see screws. They're blind. The screws are underneath. They're underneath a layer that's overlapping them, so that the fasteners are not exposed. That's one problem. The other problem is that I had mentioned that it was a type of plywood that would have worked fine for a shingle. But on a metal roof like this, you have a lot of expansion and contraction seasonally. You know, it gets warm out, everything expands. It gets cool, everything contracts. And that puts a lot of stress on each of the fasteners, and eventually they become loose. So when they become loose, water starts leaking in at all the points where the fasteners are perforating the metal. It loses stability and strength, and all the screws start coming loose. All the fasteners come loose. And that's what's happened here with these. You've got a whole roof surface here where all these fasteners had come loose. And on many of them, they were actually standing up from the surface. So the proper way to fix this, unfortunately, would be to tear all of this off and start over. But we don't have 100 grand in the budget to put a new roof in for all of this at the moment. And so, like many things, you do what you can to try and prevent the water from getting in and minimizing the problem. So what I did, with the help of another fellow, I'm always talking to myself. What I did with the help of another fellow is we tightened down all of the fasteners so they were no longer loose. And then we went along and put sealant around every single one. Don't get me wrong, I fully understand that it's a Band-Aid solution, but it's a pretty good Band-Aid. I mean, it worked. It has stopped the water from leaking through the roof itself and creating the problems that it was. Next year will be 2.5, 3 years. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go over and hit them again. It is what it is. And it's all we can do right now until we have it in the budget to actually redo the roof properly. I forgot to tell you something. So a metal roof
to fasten this down properly, they would have had 1x4 strapping, actual wood strapping over the trusses, and then there would have been a self-healing membrane that goes down over top of that, and then the fasteners would go through the metal into the self-healing membrane into actual wood. All right, so the holding power of actual wood in the form of 1x4 strapping would be far, far superior to what it's going in right now, which is about 3/8 plywood. A 1x4 is actually 3/4 of an inch thick of actual wood. The fastener would have been biting into that. There's still expansion and contraction, but there's a lot more strength there to be able to withstand that. And so you have a lot less movement, less potential for leaks and whatnot. And plus, because you'd have a self-healing membrane underneath that, if you're not familiar with the term self-healing, the fastener would go through it, and then the hole it would make, the membrane would actually kind of squeeze around the fastener and create a seal. That wasn't done. Anyways, that's not why I'm up here. I'm just giving you a little bit of context and backstory on this roof. I'll tell you why I'm up here. The reason I'm up here is because of that, and that. The first three are vent hoods, where we've got ceiling vents in the bathrooms and over the sink area for ventilation. This other one is a plumbing stack. And if you look around these things, I'll give you a closer view. They leak all the time. And if you're familiar with roofing, you'll see what's missing around here is some kind of a boot. It's just a hole in the metal and somebody put some sealant around there. So that will fail. Or I should say it has, badly. And these vent hoods here, well, they're another story. They too are missing the sealing adapter flashing that should have been installed. And as I move down the line, they don't get any better, they get worse. So that's why I'm here. I'm going to try something. Now, what you saw, does this come loose? Yeah, see, this is not even sticking. Ouch. It's a piece of sharp metal sticking up. Ouch, that's another one. I bleed so much on this job, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So these things leak all the time. And it's because of stuff like this, right? Water is getting in past here and sneaking in somewhere. And it's actually damaging the ceiling in places. So I have this 6-inch wide leftover roll of ETERNABOND tape that I was using up there. And I am going to cut essentially flashing pieces. And, I'll cut a piece running across there, and 2 big pieces down the sides, and then one across the back side. Hopefully able to overlap the hood itself, or hoods. We'll see how much I have, if I have enough to do all of it. Because this stuff will stick to just about anything. It'll stick to metal. I'm going to clean the metal first. And hopefully, when our seasonal rains come in, we won't see the same kind of leaking that we've had in the past here. You see, the thing is, if I can see daylight, then that's a path for water to come through. You can see the water staining on the plywood decking. You can see that it's actually misshapen a little bit, because there's just been so much water penetration for such a long time. It's just water stained all the way along But I just wanted to show you what it looks like up here in the attic, and show you where the penetrations are coming through. Like, there's a lot of daylight coming through there, and so if you get wind-driven rain, it's going to make its way through. So I've had to rank order these things in terms of which ones are leaking the worst. I would say this bathroom one right here, and our plumbing stack vent over there. So I'll start with those two, and then if I have enough material left to do these other two in the middle, I'll hit those as well. So that actually looks pretty clean. So let's start with this one and see where that gets us. As bumpy as it is, I actually think this is going to go a long ways to keeping at least most of the water out. I could possibly put a little bit more right in these grooves. It's hard to, this stuff is so sticky, you can't touch it down anywhere. If it touches down somewhere first and then you've got an area you need to depress it in, I was able to do it properly here and get it down one side and then work it over to the other side. But here, not as easily, but I'm also dealing with this big piece of flashing right here that's kind of holding stuff off. So I may put another strip here. The lapping, while, I put the bottom piece on first and then the sides and then the top. The lapping with this stuff doesn't matter as much because once you put pressure on it and press it down, it fuses to itself. So it's almost like it creates one continuous piece, even though there are seams, if that makes sense. What I do know is that I definitely don't have enough there to do the rest of them. So I'm going to take what I have and go and hit that stack over there next. So, have we answered the question whether or not ETERNABOND tape works as flashing on a metal roof? It's not best practice, no. It's better than what was not there. Ideally, what we should have is a roof vent sealing adapter, and I don't mean sealing like above your head, but sealing like, spelt like the seal. A roof vent sealing adapter and an EDPM pipe boot flashing. That is what should be there ideally, and that is what I will eventually do. But for now, as a temporary solution, I think the ETERNABOND tape actually works fine. The danger when you do something like this is to take a temporary solution and forget about it and leave it as your permanent solution. And if I do that, I'm sure in a couple of years I'll notice wet spots on the ceiling again and go, oh yeah, right. I need to address this. Fortunately, my parking spot is right within line of sight of these penetrations through the roof, and so I see them on a daily basis, and so I won't forget. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. So you may be asking yourself, why am I still here? Well, it just dawned on me that the episode that you just watched is the 60th A Day in the Life of Facilities Maintenance episodes that I've put out this year. I tried to release content every Monday and Thursday this season, which is season 4, and I've been fairly consistent. And so I just made a list of how much I've actually produced this year. 60 A Day in the Life of Facilities Maintenance episodes, 13 1-minute fix episodes, 5 Project Aerolite with my trailer back there, and 2 other specials. Gives us a total of 80 episodes that I've released this season alone. It's kind of mind-boggling, actually. At least to me it is. The fact that this channel started by accident as a result of the pandemic and me just wanting to communicate to the other people that I work with who are all working from home what's still going on in the school, it kind of blows my mind where we've come to a few years later. I've kind of switched gears in terms of not where I'm going with the channel, but my work year. It's seasonal in the sense that work looks different during the school year when all the kids are in the building and the staff is on site and everybody's, doing their regular thing. And then as we roll into summer, myself and Eric from IT and Frank, our operations director, we all kind of start gearing up for what the summer is going to look like. So these past couple of weeks, I've actually been doing a lot of prep work for the summer, because as soon as we have everybody out of the building, that's when we'll have subtrades coming in, doing some flooring. I will start working on some bigger projects that I've kind of had on the back burner. That kind of a thing. Summer looks different than the regular school year. As we're coming to the end of the school year, that's actually a good place to cap off the season, I think. If you've been a regular watcher this season, thank you very much. If you've been with us since the very beginning, well, all I can say is I'm fascinated that you actually find this interesting. I've learned a lot. When I actually produce content, or I record while I'm working, it gives you an excuse to talk to yourself. And processing information that way actually makes it a little bit easier. I live on a street where a lot of big trucks go by, so sorry for the background noise. Processing things out loud, I'm a verbal processor, I'm a very visual processor, so by looking at something and talking about it and explaining it helps me to see it from more sides perhaps than I otherwise would. It also forces me not to rush to a decision or a solution too quickly. Somebody might have made a comment or a suggestion on why I didn't do it that way, and then I go, why didn't I do it that way? Yeah, because a lot of times in this job, I've got a long list of things to do. Like right now, outstanding, I have at least 65, 70 open work tickets for things that need doing. And so there's a tendency to just kind of get things done as quickly as you can, because the next thing is coming and the next thing is coming. And then you get interrupted doing what you're doing because you got to triage something else over here because, the sky is falling. And so there can be a tendency to rush through things a little bit. And so by filming these episodes for you to watch actually helps me, because I can verbally process what it is that I'm doing, which forces me to just
slow down a little bit
and hopefully see things from other angles. So thank you for your help. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your support, your suggestions. I've appreciated all of it. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you next season.